presentation on better recovery for blockchain wallets by removing seed phrases, featuring the stellar SEP30 standard. Now, Frederick Ernst, in a CoinDesk article, argued that seed phrases should go away in the year 2024. We wholeheartedly agree, and would argue that Stellar already thought of this way back in 2020 and created this standard called SEP30. Danielle Dixon wrote this article giving us an overview of their solution. And there's just two things I'd like to take out of it. One is that she proposes that SEP30 allows users to manage their account and recover them using SMS or email verification. And she argues that from a Forrester estimate that $1 invested in good user interface results in a return of $100 for both the user and the wallet provider. Here's the standard from Stellar. It's written up on GitHub. It goes in fairly technical overview. Now we have in our playground, which I'm going to demo quickly, we have a GitHub repo which has got some tips on terms of implementing this standard for yourself. We've got a diagram which shows the sign-up flow and the recovery flow, which would be good for developers. We've got a playground which can help you get started integrating into our servers or another SEP30 server. Here are the three servers in our playground. There's an email recovery server, a GitHub or social ID, social media authentication using OAuth 2, and a phone number recovery. I'm going to generate a new account. So it's generated the account here. I'm going to fund the account. Now in Stellar, you'll always have to have funds in any account in order for it to be active on the Stellar network. So this is running in testnet. So it's now funded. Now I'm going to configure the servers. You'll see that we have 3 servers and 3 weights. In this case, for simplicity purposes, we've set the weight to 1 for the recovery. And each of these servers is 1. Now in production, you probably want to have something like 10, 20 for medium, and 30 for high, meaning you can submit transactions using the device key, which is the public key for this specific phone or device. Submit transactions, but you cannot change the signer. So if someone gets access to the phone, they couldn't get total control of the funds or the account without using one of these things to authenticate the user. So I'm going to register email address. I'm going to use a test 4. Now this is all simulated. It's going to mock up sending me a code. To my email account. Okay, and I submit it. So I'm logged in, and so I've registered this ATEST4. You can see on the right hand side it's logging everything it's doing. Now, as I mentioned, this is done in JavaScript. You can take the JavaScript and use it for yourself. If your app is written in JavaScript or React, this should give you a good basis for getting started pretty quickly. I'm going to do GitHub, which I'm already logged in on. Okay, it's going to close it. So it's again registered. Now you can see that it's using this thing called SEP10. SEP10 is an authentication standard from Stellar, which uses your private public key to authenticate against another server, and it validates you've got control of that private key. Finally, I'm going to register by phone number. It's going to send me a dummy SMS. Okay, here's my SMS code. Now we probably use Twilio or something like that to send the SMS. We're not a huge fan of using SMS as a recovery method, simply because the fees in emerging markets can be quite high. So, and if you think that on average, according to research, 60 to 78% of your users may lose their device or password in a year, this could add up to, for a medium-sized wallet of say 30,000 users could add up to $2,000 to $5,000 per year in text message fees. So that's why we're a big fan of these social accounts. And if you look in Africa, a lot of people do have Facebook. So we're not promoting Facebook by any means, but we are promoting the concept of using social media accounts. We can also support things such as TOTP or more advanced things. In this case, we're just showing a basic wallet. So you can see we've set the master key, which is the initial key, down to 0, and it's essentially useless. Now, any one of these things can recover the wallet. So I'm going to copy the public key, and I'm going to try and recover the wallet. Now you could do this using email. I'll try that email. It should work. So I'll use email to the recovery. It sent me an email to recover. Now again, in production, you probably want to have 2 or 3 of these devices, servers, help with recovery. And now we can see that it's done the recovery, and it's recovered the current device key, which is public key this, and private key there. So it's done the recovery. Again, in this test, we are running all 3 servers for you. In production, you'll need to have at least one of these servers run by a separate entity. That could be yourself, or it could be another third party that you choose, but you'll need to have 2 of the 3 not run by yourself. So you need to split up the control, because whoever has control of all the 3 servers essentially has custodial access to the private key and can recover the key of the users. And that's just a quick overview of this solution. You can also go to the /docs, and you can see that there's a full Swagger schema here implemented. You can see the authorized, you can see emailed pub key, so they can recover the public key using an email account. There's also sponsorship, where you're going to probably want to sponsor the initial wallet creation, so they don't have to have XLM to get started. You can make sure they don't steal that XLM from you by sponsoring it. And that's that documentation. Now there's also another link here that's useful for you, and it's going to be the server admin. You can log in as demo, and the password is BP Ventures. It's just /admin. This gives you just a quick way of looking at all the users who've been registered on the server. And you can see the sponsor envelopes. You can see the email verification codes in case this is some issues. And this is something that your server admin or your support team probably need access to in the event that a user has problems recovering their keys. But also you can see who your users are and keep track of what's happening. So let me log out. It's important if you're doing development to log out every time after you use this website. Now I recommend you have a quick look not only at our docs, but some of these YouTube presentations done by Stellar at Meridian. It's a good one done by Leigh on the importance of key recovery and key management in SEP 30. He's got great documentation. I recommend having a look at our registration flow, like I mentioned, and recovery flow. And listen, thank you very much for listening to our presentation on SEP 30 and the importance of key recovery. If you do have any additional questions or would like some support from us, please send us an email at support@bpventures.us. We would love to help you in your next project and implementing SEP 30. Thank you.